It's hard to think of a single person who's had a bigger impact on how we all talk to each other. I mean, he completely rewired the way we connect. We're talking about Mark Zuckerberg, of course. And his story, well, it starts in a Harvard dorm room and ends up as a global digital empire. Let's get into it.
So that's the big question, right? How on earth does a college project just explode into this global thing that pretty much reshaped our world? It's really a mix of raw talent, perfect timing, and just this unstoppable drive to build. So we're going to trace that exact journey to really get a handle on the guy behind the platform that changed, well, everything.
Okay, so to really get the full picture of the architect, you gotta go way back, right to the beginning. Because believe it or not, long before Facebook was even a thought, Mark Zuckerberg was already building the future, literally, from his childhood home. I mean, look at this. You can see the pattern clear as day way before he ever set foot in a college lecture hall. At just 12 years old, he builds ZuckNet, a messaging system for his dad's dental office. Super practical. Then in high school, he's already developing software that studies how people behave online. Sound familiar? That's basically the seed of what would become Facebook's core. So by the time he gets to Harvard and builds the infamous Face Mash, it's pretty obvious, right? This kid wasn't just obsessed with code, he was obsessed with how code could be used to connect people and understand them. Now, Face Mash definitely got him into a bit of hot water, but it was also a huge light bulb moment. The site went completely viral on campus. I mean, it was a massive hit. And that proved to Zuckerberg that there was this enormous, untapped hunger for digital connection. He'd basically stumbled upon this fundamental human need that was just sitting there, waiting for someone to build the right platform for it. Okay, so he's got this crucial insight from the whole Face Mash experiment. He knows people want to connect online. So he and his roommates set their sights on something bigger, something better, and yeah, something way less controversial. And this, right here, is where the story really, really takes off. The idea was so simple, but that's what made it so powerful. It was called the Facebook back then, and it was laser focused. This wasn't about connecting the entire globe, not yet anyway. It was just about giving Harvard students a digital space where they could connect with each other, a place to share, a place to communicate. And honestly, that simplicity was its genius. And the growth was just insane. 1 million users by the end of its very first year. It just spread like wildfire from one college campus to the next. This thing wasn't just a successful website, it was turning into a cultural phenomenon. The momentum was so huge that Zuckerberg made a massive, life-changing call. He dropped out of Harvard to go all in on this thing. So he moves out to Palo Alto, and right away he starts building this company culture that would pretty much define Silicon Valley for the next decade. Think hoodies instead of suits. It was all about moving fast, being nimble, and just relentlessly focusing on the product. That whole move fast and break things idea, that wasn't just some catchy motto, it was literally his signature style of leadership. And it's these innovations that really turned Facebook from a simple directory of faces into the, let's be honest, pretty addictive platform we all know today. The newsfeed, that gave us a never-ending stream of updates from our friends. And the like button, wow, that created a whole new way of communicating, a whole new language for social approval. These weren't just new features on a website. They were tools that completely changed how we behave online. So now we get to the point where Facebook has billions of users. And the mission starts to shift. It's not just about growing anymore. Now it's about strategic domination of the entire digital world. This next chapter is all about building an empire that just can't be touched. And you can really see the master plan unfold with these key acquisitions. Buying Instagram, that wasn't just about cool photo filters. It was a power move to take out a rising competitor and grab that next generation of users who lived on their phones. Then you have WhatsApp. That gave them total dominance in private messaging around the globe, an area where, frankly, Facebook was kind of weak. And then there's Oculus. Now that was the big gamble. A huge bet on what the future of reality itself could look like. A little preview of what was to come. So when you look at it this way, it's crystal clear. Zuckerberg wasn't just buying apps, he was buying up the future. Every single one of these purchases was a calculated chess move. Part defense, part offense. The goal was to make sure that no matter how you decided to connect with people online, chances are you were going to be doing it on a platform he owned. And that brings us right up to today. Because after basically conquering the world of 2D social media on our screens, Zuckerberg set his sights on something even crazier, even more ambitious: building the next version of the internet. So in 2021, he makes this huge public statement by changing the company's name from Facebook to Meta. And this was way more than just a name change. It was a massive declaration of intent. He was signaling that the future of his company, and in his mind, the future of all human connection, is in the metaverse.
So you can see the shift right here. The old mission for Facebook Inc. was all about connecting people on social media, 2D apps and websites. But for Meta, the future is about building an embodied internet. What does that even mean? Well, it's this idea of a shared virtual world, where we're not just looking at screens, but we're actually in the experience, interacting through VR and AR. It's a huge shift from watching content to actually living inside of it.
And it's not all just business. Alongside building this massive tech empire, there's a whole other side to his ambition. He and his wife, Priscilla Chan, started the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. They've pledged to give away billions of dollars to try and solve some of the world's biggest problems in science and education. It's a pretty huge commitment. So that's where we are. It leaves us with this one big question, doesn't it? I mean, he connected our entire world online. His legacy as the guy who built the social internet is pretty much set in stone. But now he's betting the entire farm on building our next one. The real question is, are we all going to follow him there?